why I was so fascinated by Eric Weinstein's conversation, or his rhetoric when it came to talking about the corruption of the scientific community and peer reviewing and all of these things, is kind of the downfall of a great society. I heard Joe Rogan talk about how he thought the downfall of civilization was the abolishment of psychedelics. But I do believe that it's just the obsession of and the avenues of greed. What I mean is, okay, so you have people like Prince, you have people like Michael Jackson, you have these artists who did it for the art, maybe. I would really believe that. Jimi Hendrix, these artists did it for the art. They didn't do it for the business. I heard that Metallica actually kind of ruined it, and Metallica is the band that, or no, sorry, Kiss. I apologize, not Metallica. I heard Kiss was the album that, or it was the artists that actually started making things very like business oriented in terms of like, throwing lawyers in there, lawsuits, suing for like all sorts of things. And then that's kind of what made a business out of music, or whatever the case is. I don't necessarily know, but I know that there's a little more balance before. And why I bring up art, or why I bring up these guys, is because nowadays a producer could even have the intentions of making beautiful music that's exciting, music that's meaningful, music that's new. But the problem is that doesn't pay the bills. People need output, people need efficiency, and that's what this world has come to. And I think that has been an unforeseen downfall of capitalism, is that everything is supposed to be efficient. Now, the problem with that is, yes, we have extreme output, more innovation, whatever the case is, sure, fine. But there's no quality. There's just quantity. I'd rather have 100 new songs than 1,000 of the same, how would I explain that? Like I'd rather have each song be a fresh, brand new experience than having way more songs out there that in the world, but that are, mimicking each other. And that's kind of what I find. And maybe it's just because like my brain is wired to find patterns in the world. But I listen to music and I'm like, dude, this has been done at least 95 times. Like I've maybe, the chord progressions are different slightly and this and that, but I'm hearing the same melodies. I'm hearing the same, like drum beat. I'm hearing the same, chord progressions, and it's like obnoxious. And I guess that's a different conversation, we can get there. But I think in just every area, it seems like business and greed has just kind of taken over, and it's made it bland and not its intention, right? If music is to express human emotion and complexities of the world, and if movies are to tell stories that make you think, because sometimes you just can't rationally get to a certain point, but a story can get you there. Some things are just, you can't really explain using words. You just have to act it out. You have to show it rather than say it, and there's deep truths in there, right? Science is an exploration of creation. It's an exploration of everything around us. And it's trying to understand things. It's trying to put things in order. It's trying to find patterns. But if it's all driven by greed and business, then you just go with whatever sells. You just go with whatever keeps you fitting in, And I would love to live in a world, and I think this is what a golden era is. This is what a renaissance is when people do things for the sake of it, right? People don't become doctors because they make $500,000 a year. They become doctors because they want to save people, and they're dedicated to saving people, and they're dedicated to, understanding the human body in such a way that they can give the best care. But that's not the world that we live in right now. The world that we live in is very much money oriented. It's income oriented. It's whatever is popular, because that's what makes the most money. And so this kind of culture kind of destroys society. We have nothing to offer. We're in this loop. I guess just another thing about art, Cole Kushner, he leads the Dissect podcast. I love his podcast. I don't watch all of them, of course, but whenever I have time, I sit down, I listen to it, and he just breaks down these phenomenal albums. And one thing that he kind of harps at a lot, and I freaking love, because there are some artists that are maybe not famous, definitely not at Drake level, but they're so intentional with how they write their music that even without the lyrics, you can feel what they're trying to say, and the lyrics just solidify it. I think that's just a beautiful portrayal of what it's meant to be. I would love to live in a world where we can actually get to that, and people be who they are born to be or made to be,